welcome everybody. Today we'll discuss the staggering costs incurred by employers from burnout, missed work days, health and insurance expenses, and workers' claims. Why is making the job site safer more crucial than ever? And how can companies balance safety with efficiency and productivity? Today, we have a special guest on the show, Connor Crook, CEO of Diamondback Belts and Vests, and he's going to shed a light on their game-changing products designed to minimize lower back and hip discomfort. We'll explain the significant impact of ergonomic tool belts and suspenders, as well as the effectiveness of vests. That's right, I got one on, in reducing strain for workers, from factory workers to on-site construction officials. And have you know, this is not a paid advertisement. Have you know, they have not paid to come on this show. Have you know, I am doing it because this thing rocks, and so does the other stuff they're using. So I felt obligated to share it with the rest of you out there because it will make a difference. We have an aging workforce. We need to keep them going as long as we can until we figure out how we're going to get the youth back into the trades. With that said, let's bring Connor onto the show. Connor, how you doing?
Hey, Dave. Great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. Great to have you. All right. So I know it's fall weather. It's a cold 85 degrees where you're at, and you're struggling with that, but it is what it is. You have that look of dismay. 85.
No. I'm waiting for what's next.
Hey, so Connor, why don't, before we get started, you tell everybody who you are. In fact, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. Do not leave out any of the good stuff from the hospital, or we will call a family member, and it'll get embarrassing for you. However, I do not feel you're the type of guy that gets embarrassed easy. So, but anyways, you got a minute and a half to do it. Floor is yours.
Thankfully not on the embarrassment part. So Connor Crook, born and raised in a very small town in South Carolina, 2,500 people, 2 stoplights. We got more deer than we got people around there, surrounded by cotton fields and pine trees. But more importantly, I grew up around construction. My dad owned a construction company. He took over from his father-in-law, my granddad. Worked in that world, summers and weekends, whatever, growing up. Went off to college, went to law school, tried to get away from construction, but ended up doing a lot of construction litigation for years, practicing law. Kind of burned out on that, though, and had wild hair in an orifice of my body, and decided to buy a tool belt company. Had really no idea what I was doing buying a tool belt company, other than it sounded like it beat practicing law every day. And it was great because it kind of got me back to my roots, but it also let me in on got me exploring some interesting ideas. It's been a great place to grow a business because, starting just from where your intro, I watched your intro, and on that intro, I saw amazing building materials that didn't exist when I was a high school kid working in construction. It showed amazing battery operated tools, impact drivers, stuff that we didn't have when I was a kid. But you know what? The gear that the guys were wearing in those pictures were the same as the gear that they were wearing when I was 18 years old, which was a long time ago, working on a job site. So what all that means is that I've spent the last 7 years running Diamondback tool belts, which I bought from a lady up in Alaska who was making them one at the time in the garage. We've grown this to a global brand by making things for construction workers, listening to construction workers, and making things that improve their lives. Now, your customers got a little different perspective than a lot of the guys that I talk to every day who are out in the field. And so I'm excited about taking this opportunity, Dave, to talk to a group of folks who I don't talk to every day about the value of our products here at Diamondback.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it as well. We got to talking. I think Cheryl Lewis and Associates said, hey, you need to talk to Connor because I'm on the job sites all the time. And I'm on residential job sites, but I'm also on commercial and roads and everywhere else. Because she said you have this amazing equipment that one is, obviously good for us gray hairs aging in place. Like I say, it helps you carry the weight. But also, this stuff is so well made. I believe personally, just like I believe in offsite construction, that, these are the things that we need to change. We need to meet people where they're at, especially in our workforce. And your belts, your tool belts, your suspenders, and you have some new products coming out that I'll let you share if you like. But it's really about how do we get to the next level of safety, and how do we really protect workers, because they get hurt a lot and you don't hear about it on the news.
Yes, you do. Or yes, they do get hurt. And no, you don't hear about it. And again, that goes back to one of the things that, I was sharing with some folks this morning is we build great things for construction workers, and most people don't really think about construction workers. They don't think about the equipment that they use on a daily basis. The tools and stuff. Yeah, that's cool. But the actual gear and the stuff that keeps them safe, not so much.
Why though?
Why? Well, there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet. If you go into LinkedIn, you go into any website, and they talk about, we've been pushing kids to go to college for, the last several generations, and we've really diminished the value of the trades. Okay. So now what that means for the average C-suite and the average supervisor on a big construction company is it's going to be that much harder for you to get quality workers on your job site. Guys don't really want to go into construction. And one of the reasons they don't is I was at a trade show once, and I saw the billboard for one of my competitors, and it had this guy wearing a tool belt, and the guy looked out like a 50-year-old worn out mule. I mean, that guy looked so beat down. And I thought, if that's the image you're selling, why does anybody want to wear your gear, and why does anybody want to go into this industry? So I called up an influencer I have in Norway, and I was like, hey, dude, I want that picture with you standing on the roof that I saw the other day with a big grin on your face wearing my tool belt. This guy looks like a Viking up here like this, standing there with his, and I was like, that's the image I want to put out into the world, because that's how we're going to get people to get into the trades and be like, it's a really awesome gig. I want to get out and I want to be able to make some money, but I also don't want to kill myself wearing bad equipment that's going to hurt my body.
Right. And cut my career short as well.
Yeah.
Blow it up. So let's talk about this. So there's the safety of the worker, but in our world as well, the manufacturers, the owners, companies, the general contracting companies, the set crews that are out there running underneath buildings as the cranes lifting them over. There's a real cost to the employer as well on this from a liability standpoint.
100%. And I want to touch that liability piece, but I want to start with, are your workers are they working efficiently? Are they getting the work done? I've talked to supervisors who are like, yeah, I figure I pay half of the guy and half of the belt, because if your guy's running around looking for his tools because he's like, yeah, I got a tool belt, I hate it. Well, he's not wearing it. What's he doing with his time? He's wandering around looking for his tape measure, and he's looking for his hammer. So he's slowing down. He's less efficient. So to begin with, a well-designed product that's going to be comfortable is going to make your worker more efficient. That's going to make you more money. Second piece is, yes, if he's wearing poor equipment and he's getting hurt all the time, 30% of construction workers miss days because of lower back problems. It's the most common injury on the job site. So yeah, we can talk about safety glasses. Hey, you like these? You got my logo on the side. We can talk about safety glasses protecting your eyes. We can talk about safety helmets protecting your head. But the most common injury is to your back. And some people think, well, if I raise stuff up higher, people don't have to bend over as much. Yeah. You're the average construction worker, you're carrying like 20, 30 pounds of crap on your waist all day, every day. That's going to cause you damage if you're not carrying it properly. You're going on a 5-day hike. Okay, Dave, you're going to go out on a 5-day hike. You're going to strap on a backpack, go walk the Appalachian Trail. It's right over there. You're going to go walk the Appalachian Trail for 5 days. Are you going to go to Walmart and buy some cheap backpack and say, well, I like the blue one. That's kind of my color. I'm going to go with that one. Or are you going to actually go to an outfitter, get a properly fit backpack? Okay, that's 5 days, man. I'm talking about 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, and however many years of your career. You've got to carry the weight of your tools properly, or you're going to damage your body. And I have a PowerPoint. We can go through it later if we have the time. And just looking at pictures of people, how they're wearing tool belts. No wonder your back hurts. No wonder you're missing days at work. No wonder you're at the chiropractor all the time. And no wonder the supervisor's sitting around going, where the hell is Dave? Dave was supposed to be here today. Now Dave's not here. I can't get my wiring done because he's the only guy who knows how to do it. Oh, now Dave's actually in the hospital because he's on disability. And I got to go find another Dave who may or may not exist. And even if I do find another Dave, He doesn't know my system. He doesn't know my
Right.
technology. He doesn't know anything. How do the costs just pile up because Dave missed work? Because Dave's got a bad back.
Yeah, no, for sure. And to get into it, like this is what I like about this vest. I'm just gonna flat out say it. I mean, it has all the hooks, just like a military vest. It's really designed almost like a military vest, and you have all the pouches and the hooks, and my phone goes on it. And for all you out there, yes, I'm not putting a hammer on mine, but I will tell you, I'm putting battery packs and I'm putting camera gear. You know what you can't see, especially when we're on a mid-rise building, and I'm not going to walk down 25 stories to get something.
Well, it's almost like the military. This is a perfect example. Adidas and Nike, between the two of them, spend about $1 billion a year on research and development for better equipment for people to play, not to work, but to play. So you have a better tennis racket. You can hit the ball a little bit further on the golf course. How much does the military spend designing better weight distribution systems to carry stuff around? And yet the typical worker is running around with some $50 tool belt from Lowe's that is just worn too low, hurting his hips, hurting his lower back. Maybe he's going to put on suspenders. He doesn't know how to wear them properly. So it's going to end up actually harming his shoulders. And he's at the chiropractor.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, what you guys are doing about all this. Let's walk through some of the products. I know we have a presentation. You have a kind of a guide to go through. And then what I want to do is I want to get into this because this isn't just for guys in the field. This is factory workers as well.
100%.
And everything they got to wear. And I think that's a really important thing, especially if you're trying to get the most productivity out of people. One, if they can have what they need on them, that makes it more productive. Two, if they can have it on them because it's not too heavy and hurting their hips, that increases productivity. But three, you actually end up with happier employees at the end of the day, and not everybody's ready to kill themselves because they're beat up so bad.
Yeah. Our product line, we started with the belts. Belt and vest ergonomics. This guy's wearing our 701 vest. If you just roll up to the next one, what's the problem here? Another guy in our 701 vest is a young electrician from Connecticut. Great dude. 30% of all construction workers are missing days due to back injuries. Lower back pain, leading cause of missed work days and disability. Back injuries, lower back, most common injuries in construction. This is a problem. People are missing work, slowing you down, losing you money because they're out with bad backs.
Yeah.
Let's roll the next one. All right. So let's talk about what's causing this problem. So a traditional tool belt, you can see where I got some of these X's on here. You see the guy's wearing that tool belt down on his butt. That is not where you want to carry weight. You want to carry weight on your waist, not your hips. So the typical tool belt, it's pressing down, it's constricting your lower back. It's one of the things is most tool belts have holes in them, like your belt. Guess what? That means you're going to tighten it too tight or it's going to be too loose. It's falling down. One of the simple things you can do to improve a tool belt is have a continuous adjustment on it so it's actually fitting you correctly, which is one of the things we do. Down at the bottom, traditional tool belts, 10, 20 years of use will lead to lower back pain, leg and hip issues, numbness, tingling, sciatica, other nerve ailments. I mean, this is why the guy who's 40, my age, okay, so I'm a lot older than 40, but older on the job site is hunched over and stumbling around. So let's improve that design. You can see here, Max there in the picture is a German guy. He's got that tool belt up where it should be, which is just like, I love this little picture from the Boy Scouts of where you should wear your belt when you're backpacking. It's the same concept of where you should be wearing this thing. So let's go to the next one. Simple things like suspenders. I hear guys all the time, well, I just put all the weight on my shoulders and my suspenders. That way it doesn't hurt my back. Well, then it hurts your shoulders because they're even more sensitive. You got all kinds of nerves up in here, which I know because I jacked mine up recently. But hey, you shouldn't have a lot of weight on your suspenders. And this is just things that people need to understand about their gear, even once they buy the gear. It's like, okay, how do I wear this thing? We just think they're construction workers. It's a tool belt. Who cares? It's more complicated than that. If we want our workforce to be comfortable and stay in the trades, we got to take care of them. Let's go to the next one. So just simple things, a sternum strap. I was laughing about, I made a whole slide about a sternum strap. You think, strap? You see where it's worn? Well, look at the guy here in the middle. He's got his sternum strap on his stomach. Well, the whole idea of a sternum strap is it's actually keeping the weight, that 20% or so that you're on your shoulders, correctly centered on the body so that the weight is distributed right. So it's all these little things. By the way, I love the quote on here, suffering bad back problems. So I was getting to the point where I probably have to give up what I did until I bought a Grande. That's one of our tool belts on a 6-inch belt. Saved my back. After a few weeks, pains disappeared. You know, I was just talking to one of my creative guys today. He's like, I have a spreadsheet with 1,062 lines on it. Of course, just like this.
1,062 lines.
Yeah, Damani keeps up with these, factoids for us. So I got into this thing. I had a company made tool belts. I was like, what else can I do? And so I started thinking through, like you said, Dave, about the military. They wear vests. That's kind of a cool thing. Fly fishermen, they wear vests. That's kind of a cool thing. What's up with that? So I started designing this vest. I saw you had some slides from IBS. I was walking around IBS a few years ago with this vest that I'd sewn together, trying to own every person I could find. It's like, hey, you're a big guy, try this on. Hey, you're a small guy, try this on. Went through several generations of it until we landed on the 701 vest. And this is the thing right here at the bottom. 701 vest changed my work forever. Comfort, got rid of my sore back, unreal range of motion, plus you get to feel like a boss. He didn't actually, I don't think, say boss in the actual thing, but we won't say what he did say. But this is designed to take all the weight off of the worker's body so that the worker is working more efficiently. Also, as you can see with Wade here, Garrett, who's wearing this vest, he's got gear in different places. So he's very efficient with his movements as he's working around. So he can work very quickly. He's up on a ladder. He can carry everything he needs up on that scaffold and not have to go back down. Because I can tell you, I've worn this vest. I had an 18 gauge or a number 18 finish gun. Sorry. Finish gun on my back. I was doing some work around my house. I kept losing the damn gun. It was on my back, but I didn't even know that it was there. You realize that thing weighs like 6 or 7 pounds, but it's back there. You don't even know it's there because you're working. So it's all about taking the weight away and make the guy feel good. He's working faster. He's able to carry everything he needs onto the roof, onto the scaffold. He's not going up and back and down. And he feels good.
Well, and that's the thing. And the vest that I have as well, right? This is the same vest you're talking about. I'm wearing it, right?
Yep.
And it comes in, I saw that one's black. I got a black one here. I should have grabbed it. But this is really heavy duty made stuff. It's really impressive.
So, little toy I can show you. This is my favorite tool belt I've got around here. Let me get in front of the camera. You can see that it did wear through a few spots. This is from the original manufacturer of Diamondback, or the original owner. He handmade this one, and it lasted, this was 18 years in the field. And the guy said, I just kind of want something new. So I gave him one for free so that he'd send me this one just so I could have it. But we're still using the same materials and methods today. We're just making them at much greater scale.
Right.
A product like this has to last. With the price point where we are at Diamondback, this is a product you buy it and, you can pass it down to your kids. But the idea of the high vis vest was we started making the vest. People said, this is great, but I got to wear one of these piece of junk high vis vests on the job site. And by the time I wear that and my tool belt, everything's kind of all, how it gets when you're wearing layers. So I said, hey, tell you what, we'll make the vest in high vis, put your pouches on it, put your tools on it. Now go to the job site. It's in the job box. You just grab it, put it on, and you're good to go. You've got everything you need.
And it's tight. It's not getting, you can tighten it up. It's not getting snagged on equipment. It's not getting snagged in the factory when you're walking by equipment or, you're in working on machinery or what have you. And that's kind of really what I liked about it, because you're right, dude. Every time I went out on a job site up until I got your vest, and I know I sound like an infomercial. I'm not. It's comfortable to wear, and I feel safe with it. And pretty much everywhere I go, everybody's asking about it. And I really think that we should have more stuff like this, not only for worker safety in the plant, but to make people feel good, because it feels nice wearing it. It's comfortable. And I think that's a big deal versus all the big loosey-goosey stuff everybody used to give me when I walked in a factory.
Yeah, when you're talking about a factory scenario like that, I can analogize that to interior framing or finish work.
Yeah, right.
I know a lot of guys are out in the field and they're like, yeah, my boss won't even let me wear a tool belt if I'm inside because they're afraid of the hammer, something beating against a finished surface. Diamondback tool belts are actually designed so they're very streamlined on the body. And one of the other cool things about it is we have this thing called a hammer holster, which stashes your hammer in like a scabbard behind the tool pouch.
Yeah.
That way, it's not, one, for safety. If you fall down off of a ladder, it's not going to sever your spinal column. Also, it's not beating you in the leg. But also, if you're wandering around, it's not getting caught in hoses, cords, all that kind of stuff. Those trips and falls, that's where people get hurt on an injury. Tripping over a cord, it gets tangled around something. If you're in a factory, you don't want to scratch up all the surfaces of finished products around you.
Yeah, which is a big deal, especially in an offsite construction. All right, what we got here?
Yeah, keep going to the next one. Yeah, so there's another guy wearing the safety vest. The little small picture up there is showing a police officer. This is another example of nobody cares about construction workers. There was a study done by the University of Wisconsin with conjunction with the Mayo Clinic. You've probably heard of them, testing the efficiency of a police duty belt versus a police vest. What they found was that the vest was immensely, findings are clear. They are significant. The vest, way more of the weight is evenly distributed, so there's less strain on the back and lower hips. We were surprised by just how big of a difference the vest made. I've been trying to get these guys around here to help me with the local university to help me on a project like this for construction workers, but nobody cares about construction worker health. I want to do this study so I can show how much better. I mean, look at the guy in the vest. He looks like he's having a great day. He looks good. He feels good. The vest is just making the worker feel better. It's taking and comfortable worker is a happy worker. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
Hammer placement. I was just talking about this. Here's a picture where that hammer holster I was telling you about, it's back in behind that pouch so that it's not getting tangled up. It's not hitting you in the legs, not causing an injury for the worker. And it's also protecting the surroundings, which is super important if you're in that factory situation where you're already in kind of a closed in space and you're trying not to run into things. Next one. Who bears the cost of poor equipment? I keep saying you wearing it because I'm so used to talking to guys out in the field. This is Carlos. He's from Spain. But the guys who really are bearing the cost, it's not just the guy wearing it. It's the employer. The employer is the one who's facing the labor shortage. The employer is the one who's trying to find a replacement for the guy who gets hurt, trying to hire people. The employer is the one who's having to pay every time somebody goes on disability. Oh, well, sir, you had another claim, so we're going to jack your premiums this year. Every time you have a workers' comp claim, your premiums are going to go up. Your medical insurance, if you're offering that, which I hope you are for your workers, that's going to go up every time somebody gets hurt. So the more you can keep people safe on the job site, the less expensive all of these other things, the disability, the workers' comp, the medical insurance are all going to be for you. Now, I'm a lawyer by training. Workers' comp is there to protect you from getting sued by your employee, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Right.
Somebody has a catastrophic injury on the job site, they're going to look for the deepest pockets they can find. It might be some manufacturer, it might be the employer. Even if you fight the lawsuit and win it, it costs you money. I used to have people come to my law office all the time. Well, I'm going to get my attorney's fees paid, right? I'm like, no, you're going to fight this thing. We're going to win it, and you're still going to pay me $50,000. How do you like them apples? So keep people safe. It'll save you money. Yeah. So
and it'll keep your employees around longer.
100%. This is a group of guys down in New Zealand. They're all wearing the vest. This is just, we have a policy here, a program at Diamondback, reach out to us. We can set you up with a coupon code where every time your business comes in and orders something from Diamondback, you can order it at a discount. Say your customers want something or your workers want something. You can buy it on the discount, take it out of their paycheck. These are expensive products. You can help them out by basically financing the purchase for them. So these are all things that we offer here at Diamondback to help with volume discounts for larger construction companies.
Yeah, for sure. And we got a discount for you today coming right up. So there you have it. Connor Crook. I love that. Toolbelts.com. I love how you got that website. That's amazing to me.
You like that?
I do like that. What are you wearing on your head, Connor?
This is an outgrowth of Diamondback. We've been talking about safety. We've been talking about the injuries to the back and to the hips. Well, there's also some catastrophic injuries that happen to your head. Actually, one of the interesting things is, oh, Lord, Jen just said the worst thing she could possibly say to me. I'm going to have to come up to Pittsburgh and visit.
Oh, no.
It is not like a climbing helmet.
Ah,
A lot of the higher end safety helmets you're seeing on the market today do look like safety helmets.
yeah.
They look ridiculous and no one wants to wear them. So one of the ideas behind us designing this helmet that has some look, sits down nice and low on your head, has an homage, if you will, to the classic hard hat, is compliance. We've been talking about safety gear and how to make things more safe on the job site. Well, you can buy all the safety gear in the world, but if the worker thinks he looks like a dweeb, let's say, wearing that stuff, he's not going to wear it. So in designing our safety helmet, which we'll be releasing next year and has a full suite of technology with it, also with glasses, ear protection, everything, a lot of it is, how do I, as a safety compliance officer at a large construction company, make sure that my worker actually wears all the safety gear that we've invested in for them? And that's all about, it's about the look. Hey, I'm wearing these white safety glasses right now. I think they look a little bit silly. I might be going out to a club with these on later, but the average 25-year-old, he thinks these look pretty freaking awesome.
I think they look cool too, man. Everybody's wearing those colorful glasses. I need some. It'd be good for camera, I would imagine, but I do. I actually really like those.
So much of our design aesthetic at Diamondback is based on, if my competitor wants to have the 50-year-olds, that's fine. Give me the 25-year-olds, because that's the future, man. If I can design a product that the 25-year-old wants to wear, that means you can get that guy to wear it. If it's the safety helmet, if it's the safety glasses, if it's the vest, and that's going to work well for them, let's go for that aesthetic. Let's actually put some thought, again, not just into the development of the products. I mean, look at, I got people all over the world here. I got this lady from Japan. I got that Norwegian guy here on the right. I got a guy from Texas in the middle. This is a global branding. This is what the next generation wants to look like.
Yep.
So if we can create a product that makes them more efficient workers, makes them safer workers, and that they're happy to wear it because they feel like they look good in it, they look like a boss, this is a win-win for everybody.
Oh, and that's very true. We just came back from Europe a couple weeks ago, Connor, and they have entire department store setups, like an Eastern Mountain Sports or an REI, made for contractors. So
and you know why?
Into an REI and you walk in, and it feels like you walked, like for contractors, it feels like that's what you walked into. Super high-end clothing, colorful, all the latest gear, fashionable. And the store was packed with young people. Packed.
The biggest difference between you were in Germany and Austria, I think,
yep,
in the United States. In the United States, the only thing that employers largely buy for their employees is PPE.
Yeah.
Some tools, but definitely PPE. In Europe, the employer buys workwear, shoes, everything. So our sales model in Germany is totally different than what it is here. We have outside sales guys in Germany going out to the companies to sell in bulk. I'm not saying, obviously in my world, it's better if the employer buys all of that stuff. One of the things we try to focus on with Diamondback is I'm here talking about our belts, our suspenders, our vest. I'm not talking about our pouches. The pouches, that's an individual thing that the customer wants to wear, the worker wants to individualize and customize to themselves. We have those solutions for those guys. But from safety perspective, comfort and efficiency, it's all about the suspension system, if you will. It's all about the safety helmet. And again, things that develop in Europe, they're doing the modular over there. It's moving over here. If American companies want to really invest in their workers, keep them safe, keep them healthy, and keep them around, investing in workwear, high quality stuff, not blue jeans and old school cotton duck stuff, really performance workwear, which yes, I also make. I have a whole line of performance workwear.
You do.
That's what you got to make the product that the customer is going to be excited about. And that's, and invest in the worker.
Yeah. And I was just showing like that Strauss, that German site. I mean, it gives you an example. I mean, this is what your company's focused on, is making products like that are streamlined, that are focused on the worker, but not just on looking good, but having more of that added value of safety built into it.
Yeah, the Strauss company's cool. I actually met the owner when I was at that show in Germany the other year. Good dude.
Yeah. Oh, it's cool stuff. That was that was when I went to Germany. I love construction, but when I walked in there, I was like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. I must have died. Like, you don't see that here in the United States. We see Carhartt, you know.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna, name drop any of the brands that I compete against or I think I'm better than, but it's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I could say the same thing about, cotton duck material. Right. It's heavy, it gets sweaty, it's gross, it doesn't move with you. All of our workwear is built to be 4-way stretch. We use fleece, and I see guys wearing a sweatshirt on a job site. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Boston. You're on Cape Cod. It's 40 degrees and blowing wind and rain, and you're in a cotton sweatshirt.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine going, for those of us who are maybe in a different socioeconomic whatever, imagine going skiing in that cotton sweatshirt. No, you're going to be wearing some high-tech polar fleece with that's what the worker needs. That's what he sees when he goes. That's what he's doing on the weekend. He's out fishing on the weekend. He's got all of his best gear on because he's out on the Great Lakes. He knows that stuff. He wants that stuff. But nobody's offering it to him.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's say hello to Greg Ugaldi real quick. Hey, Greg, what is happening? Greg is the past chair of the National Association of Home Builders, the top dog, the biggest of the big, as I always say. The guy that updates the president of the United States a couple times a year. Good to see you, Greg. Thanks for tuning in. Looking good as always. Coming from Twitch, where the young folks are. He likes to hang out with the young guys and gals over there. Connor Malloy, also, you had me at Connor.
I know that guy.
Yeah, well-made supportive tool belts are even better. Love this company and product line. He is unfortunately heading back to shop class, is where he's going. So
hey, man, I'm going to be in Toronto in October.
Yeah. Are you? There you go. Look him up. So what would be the good, would a good allowance per worker for PPE? Like, what does somebody really have to invest in, do you think, in their safety equipment, in their tool belts?
Sure.
And what kind of perks could the companies be giving the employees to make that happen?
So right now, with the shift from traditional hard hats to a Type 2 safety helmet with more bells and whistles, you're talking a price range between $100 and $150.
Yeah.
But all the value of the safety. A proper tool belt system like ours or from some of our competitors, it's going to run you around $400. But just think, the $50 tool belt is going to last you a year. The $400 tool belt, not only are you getting all the safety and ergonomic benefits, it's going to last. Workwear, there are brands out there now that are making pretty quality stuff around 80 to 100. Our work pants are around 215, our best selling ones. So you add that up, you got, a good pair of pants, you got a good tool belt, you got a good hard hat. Safety glasses, you can buy them for $5, you can buy them for $50. There's a difference.
There's a big difference.
You talk about work shoes, leather. Leather tool belts are going on the way out. Leather shoes are going on the way out now too. If you look at the European brands of work shoes, they're moving much towards a more tennis shoe, sneaker-like shoe, made out of nylon. They're putting carbon in the toe instead of steel, just to make it lighter weight, more comfortable. $150, $200.
If you've seen my last on location, I think I was at Mod Logic. Wait until those videos come out. I'm wearing a pair of them.
Yeah. So the main thing that a company can do for there, again, one of the things we do at Diamondback, we're talking about, company, come to me. I give you a discount, probably somewhere in around a 20%.
Yeah.
And it's a perk you can then pass on to your customer. You can choose to buy stuff. Think of it like health insurance. You may offer a base health insurance plan that you cover, but then you give them, okay, well, if you want to spend a little more, you can get the gold. Okay. You set up your business account with Diamondback. I give the company 20% off. You can tell your workers, hey, we're going to buy you the baseline. We're going to give you an allowance of this, but hey, anything else you want from Diamondback, let us know. We'll buy it for you, and then we'll take it out of your paycheck over the next 4 or 5 months to help you cash flow it. Help it all work out. Everybody wins.
You know what I mean? $400, $500 is not a lot of money when we think about it's your career. You know, when I look at mechanics, and I mean, they got to buy like $2,000, case is the whole, like, nobody buys that. They got to go out and buy all their own gear and their safety and what holds their tools. When I think for what we do, if it's your career being a carpenter, a plumber, electrician, steel worker, factory worker, whatever the case is, it's really an investment in your health and your safety.
It's 4 5-amp batteries.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, for sure. $100. The charger's $100. The drill's $100. The other drill that you got is $100. The impact driver's $100. This one's $100. $100.
Everything's $100. I know you buy drills now, and they don't even come with the battery.
Exactly. I can tell you why.
Tell me.
Because the power tool companies used to sell them to companies, online distributors. They'd sell them the kit for like $150. Right. Then the retailer would split it apart and sell this one for $100 and this one for $100. And so the retailer was gaming the system. So finally the manufacturer was like, okay, screw that. We're selling everything separate.
No kidding. Well, super cool, Connor. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about or put out there that we didn't talk about today before we wrap this up?
I mean, I could talk about anything all day long, Dave. I love to talk.
I know.
No, I mentioned the safety helmet, showed it off a little bit. I would love to have the opportunity to come back in a few months as our safety helmet's coming out and be able to talk about the different technologies that we're pulling into that. We're looking at the sports industry. Really, the sports industry drives so much innovation. I'm a cyclist. Okay, not really. I pretend to be. I ski. Get all that kind of gear and put it into the gear that the guy in the construction world is wearing. So I'd love to talk through all the different technologies. There are a lot of competing technologies out there. Talk about head injuries. One of the interesting things I learned in this research about head injuries, I said head injuries are so different than hip injuries because, head's an acute injury, back and hip, long term. It's not true. You may have heard of CTE. It's big in American football now. It's also getting to be an issue in soccer, which is my kind of football. It's not just that massive impact that gives you a concussion that causes the long-term damage. How many times do you hit your head on a job site every day?
Yeah.
And that builds up over time for the worker. So wearing a safety helmet and pushing that down onto the workers to comply and wear that safety helmet can protect them not just from that acute massive injury, but also those small niggling little hits that build up over time. So it's really fascinating to learn more about head injury and how better equipment can protect the worker from that.
If I'm a factory, Connor, and I got some specific needs or specific equipment that I only use in my factory, is that something you can help me with, finding a way to safely carry it on my vest?
Sure. So we offer a huge range of accessories and pouches. And we have people. We built this company on Instagram, man. We've had people call and say, I carry these tools. What do I put it in? And that's easy to do on a one-to-one basis with our existing product line. But, if there's a factory owner out there who's like, hey, I got 200 people all work here. We got this one thing. We carry it all the time. Give me a call. If there's not something that I already have in my line that will work for that, that's the kind of thing we want to see. Okay, well, you got 200 guys. Okay, well, are there maybe some more 100 guys out there? Would this work for some other folks? And that's how we can work together to develop new products that might help, you, Dave, with your factory, but also some other factories as well. We're always looking for ideas to develop products with the customer to meet the final end need.
Yeah, perfect. Connor, man, I love it. And if you didn't see it, everybody, we have a discount code for you right at the bottom of the screen, DCDB 2023, only right here on Dave Cooper Live. Check it out. Use it. It's only good through October 31st, 2023. So make sure you check it out. Connor, if people want to get a hold of you, is the best way to get a hold of you through the website?
You can get in touch with me through the website, LinkedIn, Connor Crook on there. I'm Connor at toolbelts.com, CONNOR at toolbelts.com. That's not too hard to remember. But yeah, LinkedIn's a great way to find me.
Will you be at the International Builders Show this year?
I'm going to take over that show and I'm going to give it a name. It's not IBS because every time I tell somebody I'm going there, it's, whatever, but I'm definitely going to be there. And I'm trying to work a gig where I can get up and talk some more about safety while I'm there.
Hey, did you hear that, Greg Ugaldi? Somebody's watching the show that knows all about that stuff. All right. Well, listen, Connor, don't go anywhere. The rest of you are right there. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Check out Connor Crook. Check out their safety gear. Understand the safety. And if you want to learn about how safety is impacting you, I am 100% sure Connor will take the time to discuss it with you so you can cut down on your liability, your insurance costs, and have happier workers. And that's what it's all about today. Right, Connor?
Yes, sir.
I love it. I love it. All right, everybody. I'm Dave Cooper. We will see you this Friday on BS Friday. So make sure you're there. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye now. What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you. And as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.